we could have started with something good like part 1 in this series, but I guess we're starting with part 4, or I guess part 4 in quotes, because sometimes it's there's been claims that it's really supposed to follow part 2, part 1, even though it acknowledges 2 and 3 to some degree.
Yeah.
We really don't know where the fuck this thing stands in the end. There's no continuity, even within its own confines. The point is, this is Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a.k.a. the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, a.k.a. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, a.k.a. crap. It's the red-headed stepchild of the series. And I would give you a plot summary, but it really comes down to one sentence, and is teens get lost, encounter family, blah ensues.
Illuminati question mark?
Illuminati question mark. Yeah, there really is no plot to this movie. Nope. It somehow boiled down the overused generic horror plot, the wrong turn plot. It just boiled it down to the most basic and confusing essentials, and wasted some time for us. But lo and behold, this is a director's cut. Did things change, folks? Is this a revelation? Did Kim Hinkle have something up his sleeves that the studios just hid because they didn't want to embarrass Matthew McConaughey and Renee Ugly Face Zellweger?
Did he tell us this was going to be good and was horribly wrong?
Well, that answered the question. Let's talk about this, guys. I'm going to be straight up. The cons list is long. It's super long.
Do you have any pros?
I do have some pros.
Oh, shit.
Let's try to start positive.
Yeah.
Okay. All we ever hear about this movie is negative. And I love my Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We all do, obviously, here. I like how you were
it's all right.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
It's a thing I watched.
Not this one, but we do love Texas Chainsaw Massacre in general. But yeah, all we hear is the negative stuff about this movie. Are there pros? Yeah, I'd say...
Kind of.
I'm anxious to hear how you lead off with pro.
The only pro
He's
I ever
putting it off.
Yeah, the only pro I ever had for this movie when I first saw it was I kind of enjoyed the scenery chewing madness of Matthew McConaughey as Vilmer. And I still do. Do I think it's enough to save the movie? Fuck no. It really is like, come on, get on the screen so I can have fun with whatever the fuck you're doing. Mm-hmm. Just those moments waiting for him to come on so he can do something weird. Not necessarily good, not necessarily tense, just weird. So I kind of enjoy that. I think in a better movie, he would have been a great head of the family figure.
Sure.
And I think that kind of holds up still. So that's a pro for me. Another pro would be, I do like the body language of the actor that plays Leatherface. I think he really captures Gunnar Hansen's style.
Sure.
Again, is this the Leatherface we all know and love? Not really. Is it even one of the spin-off iterations that are kind of okay? No. But the body language is cool.
He's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Voice-wise. He's like, oh man, shut up.
Yeah. But the pro... a pro for me...
Oh yeah, I forgot we're in pros.
Yeah, no, a pro for me along those same lines that kind of feeds into the Matthew McConaughey thing, but is the... Occasionally, the pitch ramps up to an uncomfortable tone, like the uncomfortable tone of the original, just because it's like... But it's not like it's hard to achieve. You see how he just kind of stole it from the first one. It's like, it's just a high pitch of yelling and screaming and like thrashing around and stuff like that. And when it keeps going and going and going, it's just like makes you kind of cringe anyway. So it makes you uncomfortable. So that's a side effect that you want, I guess, in a horror movie. You know what I mean?
It's
Not
just...
all horror movies do it, but...
I think the way it achieves it is kind of ludicrous.
Yeah, absolutely.
It also, ludicrous and a combination of, I'll say this, a combination of ludicrous and the fact that it kind of cribs the structure of the first one. It really kind of follows the same beats, only very inadequately. So yeah, it builds up to that pitch. It makes you uncomfortable in some senses, like you say. So I get that. Yeah, I definitely get that as if we're gonna be positive. I guess we can throw that in the fire type of way, Any pros for you? I know you were hating this.
Yeah, this was one of those that my neck's gonna hurt for a while because I was just like, whoop. I kind of like you. I kind of didn't hate Matthew McConaughey. I think he sucked, but it was funny, and he put more effort into this than he did Dark Tower. So that's always a thing.
Yeah.
I also kind of liked rip off Linda Hamilton. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I kind of dug her.
I liked her since she was a kid.
And I would hump it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. That's my two. That's my two pros.
Well, the other pro I would say is like, because I remember, and I remember now also why I disliked it, but like watching it again, I was surprised this time how I thought, like, because Kim Hinkle, I think maybe has done one more movie, I don't know, but when it was first announced, or when it first came out that he was going to do his own movie, I was like, well, let's see what he's got, and then when I saw the movie, I was like, oh yeah, he's got nothing. But I watched it again, and I thought, well, no, there's some competent filmmaking. There's a whole shitload that isn't competent, but some of it I thought, maybe if he just applied himself a little more, he'd make a good movie. I don't know. I'm trying to give him something, you know?
Yeah, and I think you're right, man. There's moments where you're like, man, I could see that going somewhere, but then it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, so... Yeah, I get you. Well, I'm going to throw out two more pros, believe it or not.
Being really
I'm positive today.
Yeah.
Pro number one, or another pro, is I actually like the pretty lady costume get up that Leatherface had in this.
That's weird.
Go figure. I thought it was just a weird look, and now we can call them, as you say, leather tits. So that's a pro in itself. And final pro for me is Matthew McConaughey says, all right. Big pro.
Yeah,
absolutely. That would have brought down, no matter how shitty and how shitty the movie and how sparse the audiences would have been had this been giving a theatrical release. That line would have made them all cheer.
Yes.
So the producers could have gone, yay, they like our movie.
Delude yourself, producers. I mean, we cheered for it. I mean, it was granted, at that point we wanted to murder ourselves.
We're literally making our own nooses.
And speaking of nooses, we're about to rope one around this movie because the cons time had come, and I don't mean me. I mean the cons for this movie. Con number one for me, guys, and I think we'll agree across the board here, is the acting is fucking subpar.
The worst.
Renee Zellweger has been nominated for an Oscar, I believe, right?
And shortly after, I think.
Jesus H. Christ. I don't know how the fuck that's the same person. Not that I'm a huge on Zellweger, but damn, man, she was almost as bad as the other female lead, I guess, who was horrendous.
Yeah, whole shit.
Ooh, but, that's not to say the rest of them are great. They're all pretty god-awful.
Yeah.
So, with the exception of Matthew McConaughey, who I'm not saying is great, but the scenery chewing helps.
Yeah.
Just horrendous acting. Give us a con, and please, don't hold back.
Oh, man. Jeez, I don't know where to start. I commented during it. I was like, man, this is not scary. And that's the biggest con. I already said about, yes, there was a pro about a subtle tone of weirdness that made you uncomfortable. But there were still whole scenes where they were designed to be spooky, designed to be scary. And the
tension scenes.
Yeah, the one that sticks in my mind is like someone in silhouette in the dark woods, and I'm like, and it's just, the shot was flat, I guess because of the lens or whatever, and I was just like, I'm supposed to be scared. I am not fucking scared.
Same with like when Leatherface sneaks up to that chick and he's sniffing her hair and she's going like this, and I'm like, am I watching a freaking cartoon? What is this?
Under no circumstances do any of the characters react. This kind of links up with the acting plus the scares. None of their reactions make sense to what the fuck is going on.
No.
Like, there's chaos going on around you, and you're like inconvenienced slightly by it.
Yeah.
Renee Zellweger, she could have run out of that house 10,000 times. And she's just standing there like a fool.
Or how can we forget the chick that gets hooked on the hook on her back? Somehow she's in the woods the next scene.
Yes, and can walk, by the way. That hook pierced something.
Yeah.
A lung, I don't know, something. A spine.
And she didn't even react when she was hung on it.
She was like, well, I'm here now.
This is an inconvenience.
Terrible.
Oh, man.
Okay, let's keep at it, guys. Another con for me was how the fuck these teenagers got lost. They know this town. It's super small, obviously. Somehow they get lost on a road they've never heard of, even though we see people going by this road like 1,000 times. They get lost. They end up some other place. And then all of a sudden they are going back to the car, but they get lost again. Then they end up in the house. Then they run away from the house. And the place that they walked away for hours is like right there. The geography of this shit makes no sense.
That's the thing. Like, it seems like they only had like 3 or 4 different areas to film in. So you just see the same 3 different places. And it just makes for a confusing geography. Like you said, suddenly they're here. The next scene they're there, and then there's this road that's supposed to be a different road, but it's really the road from the first scene. So you're like, what is this place?
Yeah,
it's the smallest place ever.
It wasn't. And yeah, and then again, that cut into the tension, like big or lack thereof, even more because, the chases were ludicrous. Like this guy's running at he's zigzagging across a road, and we're supposed to expect. Yeah, we're supposed to. I guess be afraid for his life. I don't know, man.
Oh, the filmmaking was so incompetent right there because I commented also, man, this is really exciting, sarcastically, because it's like there you could at least cut to another perspective. To that kind of scene needs the action to be, the editing to be edited. It needs, different shots. It needs coverage. And that one is just like you're watching from afar, a flat angle on the guy zigzagging and the guy running 2 miles an hour.
Yeah, like going super slow.
Sucks. Oh man! Oh jeez! And the biggest con for me is that somehow I caught this on TV before, and I hadn't seen it in years.
It's a personal con.
Yes, it is. I hadn't seen it in years, and I watched it, and I was like, "This isn't that bad." So then I told these guys, "Oh, it's not that bad actually." And there's a director's cut, and I started it to listen to the commentary, and he's a smart guy, Kim Hinkle, and so he was talking about the changes, and I thought those changes are interesting. So I stopped watching the movie. I was like, "This is gonna be good, guys," and then this happens.
And then we plummeted into the depths of hell.
Oh man!
I want to say that the deaths are terrible in this. You want these people to die, but then when they do, you're like, oh man, you didn't even see it. It's just Matthew McConaughey yelling in a car, going back and forth for 25 minutes.
And we can't even argue that that's because of the low budget or not, because the first movie was a low budget movie.
Yeah.
We don't see blood on the screen but once or twice in the first one. So it's not about how much blood you put out their guts. It's definitely not about that. It's about, like you said, competent filmmaking. Achieving that on screen, and they just fucking don't. It just sputters out there.
There's that douche character that gets hit by the hammer, and it's 85 miles away from him.
Yeah. They could have at least band-aided that with a better sound effect, but they didn't even do that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Speaking of sound effects, I also want to throw in that Matthew McConaughey's leg is the loudest thing known to man.
Yeah, so Matthew McConaughey is the main character, basically, or the main villain, I should say. And he has a hydraulic electronic thing on his leg
with a remote
that allows
controls.
him to walk. Yeah. And the fucking...
Why was this a good idea? Why was this oh, we gotta... Did he see 3 and he saw Leatherface's leg brace? So he was like, I'm gonna do her one better. I'm gonna electronic it up. Or I don't know.
He's gonna have to charge his batteries and have a freaking vacuum tube for some reason.
When I was a kid, and I feel stupid even saying this, considering how stupid the movie is. When I was a kid and I saw this, not long after I'd seen part 3, because VHS was how I saw movies most of the time.
Sure.
First of all, I was excited to see it. It had just come out at the time, and I was like, "Hell yeah, the next installment! Let's get this done." And I put it in, and again, I feel like an idiot saying this, but I was trying to make sense of things, and I was like, "Is Vilmer supposed to be like Leatherface, only without because of the fucking leg brace?" And I was like, is the mask just passed on to the next idiot? Because Leatherface fucking dies 1,000 times, so I'm like. Did they just give it to somebody else? What the fuck is going on here? The fucking leg brace really threw me through a loop as a kid for some reason. It shouldn't have. But the thing is that says something about the film. It really doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's just there to cause stupid mayhem, to have the remote control fight.
Oh man,
that is a thing.
What? Pro remote control fight. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I gotta say, maybe that's a fucking pro.
Okay.
Nothing like fighting over your leg with remote controls. Yeah, maybe a pro.
Maybe Poltergeist inspired that. There's a remote control war there, so
yeah.
Also.
Oh man. Well, hit us with another con there, Spielberg.
Oh yeah, I didn't know if this. It just occurred to me, but it might be for last. But no, the biggest con for me is
it just keeps getting bigger.
Unfortunately, what I gave some props to is Kim Hinkle. Watching this. It really showed me. Now, Kim Hinkle collaborated with Tobe Hooper on most of the original, even co-directing at points, or probably doing second unit stuff. But he wrote partly the movie, or he was essentially the writer. Yes, the way they wrote it was they got together in Tobe Hooper's kitchen. They threw concepts around together. When they finally settled on what was to be written, Kim Hinkle went and wrote it. He was the guy writing it. You know, so I was like, okay, well, let's see what you got. And it just showed me this movie is like, he's just not Tobe Hooper. It's like, it's not only the writing, which there's only a small vestige of the weirdness and the humorousness that was in the original. So he must not even really contributed that much to the writing, but to the filmmaking, it's clear like he didn't contribute jack shit.
Yeah.
He has no semblance of scares, of atmosphere. It was like really like sad kind of.
And really, it's kind of a good thing that now we know that Hinkle can't do anything behind the camera.
Yeah.
Because it validates a lot of the credit that was taken away from Tobe Hooper recently, with people basically admitting he didn't direct a Poltergeist, he just did second unit stuff. You know, all that. There's been a lot, and you know, the last part of his career was kind of up and down to a lot of people. So he's not as highly held in the esteem of horror fans as, say, a Wes Craven or a John Carpenter. But I think this kind of shows you exactly how much skill the man had, despite, you know, his drug-using ways in the past. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of rumors about Tobe Hooper, but I think this proves it here, folks.
Oh.
Fucking, you know, if you weren't convinced by the art already, here we go. You know, here's a man that co-created the founding piece of Hooper's history, and he couldn't even duplicate it when he was behind the camera. So
yeah, and you put I'll tell you, Tobe Hooper took some bad rap for the later movies, as you said, but you put this against fucking Toolbox Murders. I mean, that's miles better than this.
Oh, yeah.
Even fucking Crocodile was just probably his worst to me. Is like more entertaining than this and more competent.
That serpentine maneuver that guy was doing would have worked against that crocodile.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It definitely. Why am I just thinking about crocodiles now? By the way,
this movie sucks my dick.
Another fucking con for me was that this family, like all the families, even the fucking films in the series that people hate, with the exception, I guess, even that has a little bit of it. I was gonna say with the exception of Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is fucking abhorrent, but still better than this turd. All the families, all the Chainsaw families, the Sawyer family, the millions
Illuminati
of
family.
They all feel like depraved, steeped in depravity. This fucking family didn't feel that way at all. They just felt like they were at each other's throats for no good reason, really.
Yeah. There
was no sense of depravity, even when they were wild and crazy on screen. It was just like, all right, well, they're just hamming it up, kind of. So, like you say, it ramps up and it gives you an uncomfortable feeling, but it's not for the right reasons that the series has established. It's not because they are these depraved individuals. It's more like, they're loud, I guess. So that... Yeah, that just added to how ineffective some of the scenes were.
Another con, Illuminati guy's nipples. The hell is up with that shit?
Yeah.
Why are they on the stomach? If they had been up like in the nipple region, maybe it would have sold. But that's why it confused me as a kid. I was like, I think that's it, but if it is, I don't get it. I don't know.
And okay, and now I'm glad you brought that up. Also, nipple displacement. Yeah. But well, first, to add to that, the prosthetics were terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just, they didn't even skin tone match with this bastard. Second, you mentioned the Illuminati. So that's a big point of... You already know I hate this little angle. One, because it's such a ludicrous fucking angle. These movies are already pretty crazy. And then you throw in that the family is just, some stool pigeon for a world-ruling organization of shakers and movers. And the motive behind that is vague. There's implications of they want them to stir up fear, possibly to either thrive from it and or to distract from their actions. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe you got it a little bit more than
something about it being a life-changing experience.
Yeah,
or some shit like that.
Is this guy Jigsaw now? I don't understand the concrete motivation behind it myself.
Yeah, all I know is that
it's clear to you guys.
No, stupid.
No,
yeah,
because right there would have been the place to expound on it and finally bring it home, but they didn't.
The nipples, I was like, is he like some sort of weird creature?
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean?
Suckling on him? I don't get it.
Yeah, that's that. Like when you said there's a scene where the Illuminati guy that just shows up all of a sudden,
for some reason,
licking Renee Zellweger, and you said is she feeding off her fear or something to that?
Yeah,
and that was like, well, I mean, theoretically we could say, what is going on? Why first? But second, yeah, I mean they lay vague visual clues.
Not in a cool way, though.
Yeah, but there's nothing is concrete, and that's not to say that concrete is always great.
That's what I said. Not in a cool way.
Yeah, but it's an incompetent vagueness.
Yeah.
Oh man, it ceases to be vagueness when you're introduced to Matthew McConaughey on his fucking truck door to his maintenance truck. It says Illuminati whatever maintenance.
Why the hell would he have that on his truck if it's supposed to be some sort of secret?
Because he wants to fuck with you. That's part of, in an odd way, that's part of the through line. They want to fuck with you, so they're, like, you glimpse it, see it now, now you see it, now you don't. I don't know, but yeah, the licking, and that's all that makes sense, but that would point to some supernatural reason, or I don't know, maybe not. It's just a psycho's way of,
The nipples.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, but why the nipples?
Yeah.
Is he super... I don't know, man.
And
There's
that
no
ending with the leg sound, it just made me go,
I already forgot
this is a thing. She's in the hospital.
Oh,
and she loses her leg.
Look,
And I guess it's him.
in the end, this movie makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't obey any of its rules. It doesn't even follow the rules established in the previous movies, and those are loosey-goosey by the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this one just went all the way off the road. I will say, in terms of the Illuminati, sorry to interrupt. I will say, in terms of the Illuminati thing, I'll say this: the concept of the Illuminati, or it sounds stupid saying that, by the way, of a New World Order type of group, basically funding chaos to take their eyes off of their actions. That's a good idea. I don't think that's what the guy intended here, but that's a good idea. But even if it was a good idea and it was fully brought out in a Texas Chainsaw movie, it's not the series to put that idea in.
No.
Good point. Separate that shit, and you still have a shitty movie though. So whatever.
I
Anyway,
have a last almost pro, but it ultimately is a con. I kind of almost enjoyed how ludicrous and nonsensical it got towards the end. It was kind of one of those things where it's like, this is so bad, it's almost enjoyable.
Yeah.
And with the constant music changes that were dumb and just changes that made zero sense. The entire last half is just like a nightmare, but in the worst way possible. Literally a nightmare. It's horrible, but it's almost enjoyable.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it falls flat, and thus it is a con.
I also say that Grandpa is surprisingly lively in this, unlike the other movies, and he looks like Johnny Cash. Just saying.
That's a pro.
I'm glad you brought the soundtrack up, though, because it's fucking terrible. Worst soundtrack ever. It's not a score, it's a fucking soundtrack, and it sucks!
Well, there is score, though, and it's by the original guy. But you can barely hear it.
Yeah, it's barely
whatever's there, and then the rest is just I guess he's trying to do a Scream type soundtrack.
But it's like a bunch of cheap sounding
generic rock.
music.
I heard it termed as asshole rock once, and I was like, that's amazing. Yeah.
Good description.
Yeah.
Normally that'd be cool, but here it's not.
Yeah.
Any other cons, guys?
This blurb in the back. It's a big con.
What does it say?
Leatherface crosses Divine with Hannibal Lecter.
I mean, it's just a statement.
Do you know what was another con? I think they kind of retconned the cannibalism.
Yeah, it wasn't in there at all.
They eat pizza, you know, and they weren't. There's no reason for Leatherface to be skinning and wearing.
Yeah.
What the fuck, oh Jesus.
Oh, can I throw another con in there? I just remembered one.
That's all we got here. So yeah,
the Leatherface early on got warm-ups on. And he also has a mullet, and he just looks like Mankind from WWE.
Yeah, man. He has warm-ups, and they're purple.
Yeah, oh my god. It was shocking. I did not remember that. I guess I didn't pay close attention even the last time I saw it very recently. It's like, what the fuck went into that decision other than maybe comfort for the stunt actor?
Yeah.
Other than that was the worst fucking decision.
If it was comfort, I'm just going to tell you right now it didn't work. Because behind the scenes, he fell in that scene where he crashes through the
glass?
Yeah, the glass. The greenhouse. He cut himself up because he tangled his legs, his warm-ups in the fucking frame.
Are you serious?
It's in the behind-the-scenes documentary.
Oh, man, I gotta see that fucking thing.
Yes.
It's unavailable.
Which, by the way, Since this is the director's cut from Screen Factory, it costs an arm and a leg to buy these DVDs. You guys are probably wondering, does it have good features? It doesn't even have that awesome The documentary is better than the movie, one.
I bet.
And it doesn't even have that documentary, which would have made it worth the amount that these things usually are. But let's real briefly... Oh, wait, I got one more con, guys, and that's the set design is fucking terrible. You pointed this out. The house... They didn't even try to make it look as menacing as the original house.
Our house
it's supposed
is
to be
better.
that. Yeah, definitely. Ours is more full of chicken bones, at least. That's because of the gluttony.
Yeah.
But
the Colonel's always here.
It's very Seven inspired.
So yeah, guys, let's talk real quick about the big selling point here, and that this was a director's cut.
Yeah.
Now, for anyone interested out there, at least correct me if I'm wrong here. The only changes I saw were at the beginning. There is an added sequence, which, I mean, if you want to know more about Renee Zellweger's character, there you go. It adds nothing of substance to her. I guess it was supposed to make her sympathetic and make her to be that fighter, like a la Marilyn Burns.
Yeah.
But Marilyn Burns showed that we didn't really need all that. And it really didn't contribute anything at the end. We didn't cheer for her. We didn't want her to win. We wanted her to die, probably.
Yeah.
And other than that, and here's the thing. Oh, I'll get to that right now. Other than that, all I saw were extended scenes and some snip scenes, actually. Yeah. Some so abrupt that we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did the scene just change?
There was random scenes where they would just hang on people for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
And none of the extensions were violent, that's why I would think you snip unrated versions,
right?
Like, so it didn't deliver in that respect. I know what he's doing because they wear it as a badge of honor that the original has no gore, really.
Right.
So I'm sure he was like, oh yeah, I got to do that because I'm the classy guy. We're the classy horror movie, So even if it's the age of the '90s and people love gore and stuff, no, it's Chainsaw Massacre. We don't do that for this, but it just totally did not work. If it doesn't work if you can't generate suspense,
right?
Like.
And I think you're absolutely right, because previous to this we had Leatherface 3. Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which was indulged a lot more in violence to a point of almost being gross. So yeah, it makes absolute sense that he'd be like, we're taking this back to its origins. And alas, like you said, fucking crap came out the other end. Also, guys, if you're looking for a director's cut that at least looks clean, nope. They didn't even bother to remaster the source material. It looks like VHS source, really, like a rental VHS, like fucking
like
Levas
shot
shit. Nobody is gonna get
sometimes.
I mean, it's a pathetic release. I'm sorry to say, man.
I'm sorry to say I bought it. You guys squeaked clean out of this deal.
Yeah, you, however, did save me wanting to get this, so there's that.
I mean, what I heard of the commentary is pretty cool already. He's
not worth
Kim
the price.
Hinkle sounds like a cool guy, so I want to hear it to see if it is worth it. I'm hoping it is worth it at least.
This movie shows that being a cool guy doesn't mean you're a good director.
That's true. That's very true.
All right, guys. Well, final thoughts and final scores on this bad boy, and by bad boy I mean it sucks massive anus. Let us hear it. Final thoughts, final score on a scale of 1 through 10.
I would rather sit on a chainsaw, ass first, obviously, than watch this movie again. That being said, it was kind of enjoyable in its shittiness. So maybe this would be one to watch if you got a little bruise and some friends or something.
Yeah.
And just shit on the screen. But as a movie, it's terrible. Everything in it is horrid. I kind of want that hydraulic leg, though. I'm not going to lie. 10 out of 10 hydraulic leg. 0 out of 10 the movie.
Yeah. Spielberg, hit us with your final thoughts.
The score is hard, and it shouldn't be hard, but definitely, it's like I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I was briefly turned around on one viewing.
You became a believer.
Yeah, on this second viewing, it's unfortunately deserving of its reputation. It's absolutely awful. It's the worst. I don't know. There are apologists who say they prefer this one over 3. I don't know what you're smoking. 3 is legit great, especially the director's cut. It has such good qualities, such merit. This has nothing. I was gonna give it I'll give it a 2 out of 10. Fuck it. It had some stuff. I enjoy shitty, asshole, misogynistic teenagers just like saying misogynist shit. It's funny. It's a 90s thing I love, and that had that, even though a lot of it wasn't well written, but it made me laugh. So
yeah,
robot leg fight also.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad you mentioned that. 'Cause what was that guy's name, man? Barry? Look, yeah. Misogynist asshole teen douche.
Yeah.
Somebody cooler would have delivered those lines better. But they were funny, considering that you were watching crap. You gotta find the silver lining in something. But yeah, me, well, pretty much got you got everything that I had to say, guys, because this is a stinker. Always has been a stinker. I always keep returning to it, wishing that it's not. And it never gives me that. It's always it's gonna suck forever, guys. It's gonna suck forever. Wow. Now the only debate is this worse than my other least favorite Texas Chainsaw movie, Texas Chainsaw 3D? I'd rather watch Texas Chainsaw 3D because it has that beginning sequence which gave me promise, and then it fails me the rest of the movie because it sucks. But it had that at least.
And that Alexandra Daddario, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got to love them tatties. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty here with my score, and I'm going to give it a 2 out of... No, you know what? I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10. I was going to go with a 2, but I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10 because Matt McConaughey deserves some scenery chewing points. But it's no good. Don't waste your money on this movie. Just wait till it's in a bargain bin, or better yet, just get the DVD. If you really want this director's cut, the Canadian DVD, get that. It's been available for years. Not worth your time.
Is the documentary on that?
You know what? I don't know, but it might be.
Fuck, if it is, I'm kidding. I just got a region-free player,
Yeah.
so...
Well, there you go. That would be the way to do it.
Oh, God, I'm going to pay for this again? What a fucking idiot I am.
It's horrible.
Oh,
you could just give us the money instead.
Oh, yeah, it's good. It would be better served.
So there you have it, guys. This is our thoughts on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We'll be doing more of these, of course. We'd like to thank our guests here for a couple of videos. Senor Spielbergo, he will return, as he does, like the Phantom of the Opera, every now and then between scenes. In the meantime, hit like, share, and subscribe to those notification buttons because we are out.